In this video, we're going to be talking about some things that you may want to keep in mind if you're making the move down to the Baton Rouge area or really anywhere in South Louisiana. And these things may not necessarily be deal breakers for you, but they're just things you may want to consider if you're making the move. And if you're not from around the area, maybe you don't know about some of these things. So if you want to find out more, stick around because we're getting after it right now. What's up guys, I'm Shaun Ramos. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm so glad to have you. This is Living in Louisiana, where we talk about everything that you need to know when it comes to what it's like moving to or living in Louisiana. So if that sounds like something you want to follow along with, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell because I'm putting out new videos just like this one every single week and I don't want you to miss anything. And just in case you didn't know it yet, I am a licensed realtor in the state of Louisiana. So that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's the best way you can reach out to me. Look, while I love making these videos for you guys, what I really love is to help you with your real estate needs. So if you have any specific questions or needs when it comes to making the move to Louisiana, don't hesitate to reach out. I am the guy that replies to every single call, text, or email that comes through. All right, so let's get down to business. So I've got a list of things that I want to mention to you just in case you're moving to Louisiana and you're not from the area. These are some things you just may not consider, but you know, they're not necessarily good or bad things, just things you may want to know. So you want to make sure you're prepared for the heat and humidity in South Louisiana. So we very much have a humid subtropical climate here, so it can get brutally hot during the summer, and we tend to have mild winters, but during the summer, you know, you may see a high of 90 degrees, which, you know, is hot enough in itself, but when you're seeing humidity levels of nearly 100%, that 90 degrees can feel like 105 degrees, and you can expect to sweat, you can expect to have to take multiple showers at times. You can expect that you're gonna need sunblock, you're gonna need plenty of water, you wanna make sure you stay hydrated. And that humidity also plays a role during the winter too. You know, we have pretty mild winters, but you know, I've lived in other parts of the country a little further north, and if it was 35, 40 degrees outside and sunny, you know, those were some t-shirt and short days. But here sometimes with the humidity levels being higher, that 35, 40 degrees can feel super cold. So it's just something you want to keep in mind. The humidity plays a big factor in how it actually feels outside. And you want to make sure that you're doing your research on schools in the area before you make a move. Baton Rouge is just like any other bigger city where, you know, you're gonna have some really good schools, you're gonna have some poorly rated schools that don't test as well and show up lower in the rankings, but you just have to make sure you get online and do your research first. There are some really good magnet school options, there are some good charter schools here. Now I don't live in Baton Rouge, I live just outside the city. Of all the friends that I have that live here in Baton Rouge, all the ones that I know of actually send their kids to private schools, so there are some really great private schools in the area. And if you don't necessarily have to live in Baton Rouge and you're looking for really great school systems, there are so many areas just outside of Baton Rouge like Central, Denham Springs, Prairieville, Gonzales. There are good schools in all these areas if you don't want to go with the Baton Rouge public schools but don't necessarily want to pay for the private school. And you want to make sure that you're considering the property insurance. So homeowners insurance has been a big hassle lately. Lots of companies have just pulled out of the state altogether. A lot of people I talk to have seen their premiums jump, and not just a little bit that you see it jump like it normally will. And these prices tend to just rise over time, and it's something you need to shop for. But I'm seeing, you know, $1,500, $2,000 increases in premiums. And I can tell you from my personal experience, I just finished building a house. We just got moved in recently, but I had to get a homeowner's quote for the bank before we even started building. And from the time we got that quote to the time the house was actually built, the premium went up $500 per year on a brand new home. And those homeowners insurance premiums factor into your monthly payment. So it's something you definitely want to consider when you're thinking about the affordability of the house you're going to buy. And there's also flood insurance. So the rules for flood insurance all changed not too long ago. And you know, depending on what flood zone you live in, you may or may not be required to have flood insurance. And there was a time when you could count on the fact that if you didn't need flood insurance, if you were in flood zone X, that to get that flood insurance, if you just wanted it just to be safe, I mean, you can only expect to spend $400 or $500 a year. Since the rules changed, I've seen clients get quotes in flood zone X up to $2,000 or so a year. So if you're in flood zone A or E, you don't have a choice. You're required to have flood insurance as long as you have a mortgage. But if you're in flood zone X, definitely check the price. It may or may not be worth paying for it. In this client's case that I'm talking about with the $2,000 quote, the insurance company told him it probably wasn't worth to do it, and you just self-insure and save your money. But if you do have any questions about how flood insurance works and how it can affect you, jump on, schedule a Zoom call, and we can talk all about it. And don't forget about all the outdoor activities that you have access to in South Louisiana. Louisiana is called a sportsman's paradise for a reason. If you're into hunting or if you're into fishing, this will be like a paradise to you. You've got so many choices when it comes to hunting and fishing. There are lots of places you can go that are public lands and public waters, and there are also some private options that you can pay for, so maybe they're a little less crowded. But even aside from hunting and fishing, if you like doing things on the water, this place is going to be great for you. But even outside of hunting and fishing, if you just like doing anything on the water, Louisiana is going to be great. And because we have warmer weather here most of the year, you can participate in some of the outdoor sports just about all year long. So golfers, I'm talking to you, this is great. You can play golf all year long here in South Louisiana. Don't underestimate the bugs when you come to South Louisiana. The first thing that comes to mind when I'm talking about bugs down here in South Louisiana are the mosquitoes. So these are my mortal enemies. I can't stand mosquitoes, and they will tear you up during certain times of the year. So you're going to see that if you like being outdoors in the evenings during these summer months, you tend to get overran with mosquitoes at times. So you're going to want to make sure you have citronella candles. You're going to want to make sure you have plenty of bug spray. But it's not just the mosquitoes you have to worry about. So love bugs are a hassle. They come out a couple times a year, and they're not really hurting anything other than they're getting all over your vehicle. And you really have to make sure you keep the vehicle washed. It really helps during that time, especially to have a membership to one of the car washes. You can just run through and get those bugs knocked off anytime. And then there's termites. So right now, as I'm filming this, we're in the swarming season for termites, and that's all I'm seeing on Facebook is people talking about the termites they're seeing in their house. And in my own house, actually, take a look at this video. This is a recording I've got from this morning, actually, from the swarming termites at my house. So while a termite contract isn't required at your house in Louisiana, it is 100% recommended. Everybody says it's not a matter of if you're going to get termites, it's a matter of when. And then keep in mind those seasonal storms that we have here. So everybody knows that anywhere on the Gulf Coast is known to get hurricanes. And Louisiana is 100% no different. But between June and November during the Atlantic hurricane season, it's something you just need to be prepared for. And I've said this before in other videos, but I'll take a hurricane over earthquakes or tornadoes any day of the week. We know about hurricanes coming so far out that you have so much time to prepare. Most of the time, people are just riding them out of their house and they're just getting prepared. Make sure you have plenty of food, plenty of water. If you got a generator, that's ideal. But if you see it's going to be really bad right where you're at, you have plenty of time to evacuate and get out of town. And it's not just the hurricanes, especially during the summers, we have lots of thunderstorms, so it's just something that you have to be aware of. And you've got the Cajun and Creole foods that you need to be prepared for. Now, if you're from up north and you don't get a lot of seasoning on your food, the food here in Louisiana can be a shock to your system. Now, I would argue with anyone in saying that we have some of the best food in the world down here in Louisiana. But if you don't like spicy food, then there are definitely some things you're going to want to avoid. Right now we're in the full swing of crawfish season, and that's one of my favorite times of the year here in Louisiana. To me, there's nothing I'd rather do on a weekend than hang out with family and friends with a table full of crawfish and a beer in everybody's hand. So keeping all this in mind, is there anything that's a deal breaker for you? If there's something that you just can't handle, let me know in the comments. As somebody who was born and raised here, these are just some of the things that we deal with as part of our daily life, and we're just used to them at this point. But if that all sounds good to you and you're ready to make that move, that number that's popping up on your screen right now, that's the best way you can reach out to me. I'm here to be a resource for you for anything real estate related that I can help you with. Doesn't matter whether you're making a move right now or if you're looking to just maybe make a move in the future, jump on, let's schedule a Zoom call and just get that conversation started. And don't forget, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell, because I'm putting out brand new videos just like this every single week, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.